Yeah, Goldberg.
What's going on?
What happened there?
I don't know. I have no idea.
It like all of a sudden switched profiles for me. All I was doing was talking too. Like
Oof.
mid talk, it just switched to my profile and ended the whole thing. So I'm not really. I don't know. The spaces. It's.
Tough break. We had 3 people listening.
I know. Yeah.
We had a
Well.
career high.
Yeah. We had a career high. I mean, it wasn't just Dinesh. Man, that sucks. Yeah. So I honestly have no idea what went wrong there. So I don't know. We're kind of new to this, X spaces. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. But uh, Goldberg, where was the last time you heard me with Rose Decay and MK Ultra, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was just gonna ask you, like, what do you think of Rosemary? Like, she looks in the best shape she's looked in probably 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah. She looks
Yep.
good. And she's another good character. So
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So all right. So yeah, I thought them winning the knockout tag team titles was good. I like MK Ultra. I liked all four in there. They all both have good characters. So,
yeah.
next match was kind of just a throw together X Division title match. We had Chris Sabin defeating El Hijo del Vikingo and Kushida. I mean, it was fine. Good match to watch live. Not a lot of story, but I can forgive that for the X Division. A lot of times X Division matches were a lot of throw together, especially if you watch the early days. It was fine. Chris Sabin retaining, that's fine. I think the big thing here is the partnership that was announced with TNA partnering with AAA out of Mexico. I think that's a good move. Bring more luchadors over, kind of give that WCW
My
cruiserweight.
my only surprise is that Chris Sabin is still a champion because I thought him and Shelley would go hand in hand.
Yeah,
If one lost, the other would lose.
yeah.
But
I always thought like there was going to be an option C with Sabin challenging Shelley, and that never happened,
right.
which is fine. I'm okay with that. Like if they just want to keep them together, that's fine because they are always known to be, with one another. But that's the only thing I could think of with that. But yeah, um, yeah. Now this match we got to talk about. Obviously, we had Alexander versus Hammerstone. Now Goldberg, why don't you give us the history with you and Alex Hammerstone? Like,
Okay. So I went to an MLW show in Fort Lauderdale, which is near where I live. And I thought they put on a great show. They had some old WWE guys come, Gangrel and whatnot. Um, what's his name was also so they had a main event, um, which was a double cage match, maybe even a triple ring cage. I don't know. They went all out. They had a double cage, two rings, like a war games match, basically. And man, what was man, I can't remember anyone's name lately. Since I had my birthday
low
a couple
key,
of weeks ago.
low key.
No,
Okay.
I'm a year older now, and I forget everyone's name.
Uh,
Ace Austin's old partner.
hey, Sauce. Oh, Madman Fulton.
There you go. Madman
Yes.
Fulton was in the match. And Alexander Hammerstone was in a stable at the time with Richard Holliday, who's just getting back in wrestling. I believe he had cancer. I think that was the guy with cancer.
Yes. Correct.
And their third partner was MJF
Okay.
back then at the time, before AEW even existed. And they were in a stable called the Dynasty. And they just stole the show to me. The three of them, and they all had good looks. MJF, good looking guy. Holiday got a nice build, and Hammerstone was a beast. And they just stole the show for me when I saw them in person. And since then, I've tried to, follow him since. And I just, when I saw this guy was a free agent and moving on, I really think he'd be perfect for the new era of TNA, and he's a perfect guy to put over. Young, good build, can cut a promo. He's a grown man. I mean, just fits the mold, don't you think?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like when I was watching him at my friend's house, and I was like trying to think of guys who he reminded me of, and I couldn't. Like there's bits of like Brock Lesnar. There was bits of like a Charlie Haas. There was bits of
Mhm.
just all these different guys that were running through my head, like who this guy reminds me of. But he legit is just a powerhouse, a beast. Like
Yeah,
can go with any of them. And
yep,
man, I would be so shocked if TNA does not sign this guy. Like, or at least, I mean, maybe there's an attempt. I don't know, but I think this guy would fit in perfectly. He's got so many like homages to like Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan. Like you gotta love it. You
yeah,
just gotta love how much like how much he respects the history and can pull it off too. Not a lot of guys could do that. Like shake the
exactly,
ropes like Ultimate Warrior. This guy could do it.
exactly.
And him and Alexander just tore the house down. Like there's a reason they put Hammerstone against Alexander. Like he's not just going to wrestle anyone. So I hope that they can reach an agreement to bring this guy, because they gotta lock him down. I think this guy's money. AEW would be terrible. WWE, I could see them, trying to get this guy, because he's I think he's proven that he could be, you know, a big deal in the business. So love to see him signed, but they absolutely. I think this was my favorite match of the night, and I don't. I love Shelly and Moose too, but this one I think stole the show for me. This was the match to watch.
I
Um,
agree. I
so
agree.
let's go to next match. We had the four-way for the tag team titles. We had ABC versus the Rascals versus Laredo Kid and Mike Bailey versus the Grizzled Young Vets. Uh, Goldberg, have you had a shot to or a chance to watch the Grizzled Young Vets?
No, no, unfortunately, I have not. They're coming from WWE, right?
Yeah,
Mm,
NXT. They were huge in NXT.
mm.
Um, four times tag team champions in
Yeah, no,
NXT.
I don't know anything about them. Unfortunately, I'm not an avid viewer of NXT.
Okay. Grit Your Teeth is their finisher. It's like a double lung blower. Really cool. Really in sync tag team. I don't
How's
know if
their
these guys
how's their look?
they're good, like big. They're like not small. Like
Okay,
one of them's probably 6'5", 6'4". The other one's probably 6'2". They're not like super buff. They can move, but they're not like your standard X division guys. They're just a really solid tag team.
okay.
So they had a match tonight. We can get to that. Um, we also had, I mean, the Rascals. We know what they can do, and
We
Laredo Kid. Yeah,
I'm sorry to cut you off. We got a few, Blood Rain and Larkin back in, and then we got another guy. If you have any comments, go ahead and drop them in the comment box. And if you want to say anything, we'll let you
yeah,
chime in.
absolutely. I just wanted to say that this match was a lot of fun, just from the different dynamics of the tag teams. I would have liked to see Trent Seven make his debut, but apparently he had some travel issues. So hopefully he'll be at the next tapings in Florida. But this was a really fun tag team four-way. Not a lot of story, obviously, but I'll forgive them because this is like a restart. So I think I'll give them some time to work up some of those feuds. But overall, though, we this was a solid main event or match. ABC retaining. And let's go with now this one. This one surprised me. Jordan Grace versus Trinity. Now I know on the Heelcast, especially the dude. I don't even know if he calls himself AEW dude anymore. the Dude and Raven. They just trashed Jordan Grace, and she's gotten a lot better on X. She doesn't really let her political opinions run amok as much as she used to. But man, like she is cut. And a lot of people think she takes steroids. I don't know.
Think?
I'm not gonna. I mean, okay, she is a power
I
lift.
don't. I don't care if she takes steroids.
Right, you probably want her to take it. Yeah, give us that '90s look, right?
Wouldn't bother me one bit. I wish baseball would
Yeah,
allow steroids.
yeah. Well, it made the game funner. I mean, her and Trinity absolutely tore the house down. And like, I'm not like a Trinity fan by any means. I'm not even the biggest Jordan Grace fan, even though I respect her. Those two put on a hell of a match, one that I was kind of sleeping on, and they delivered with a really, really fun match. And Jordan Grace ends up winning. And there's rumors that Trinity's going back to WWE to go be in the
Right.
women's Royal Rumble. So, but yeah, those two they put on a hell of a show. It was really good. So I got nothing but compliments for that match. And yeah, then we had the main event. Alex Shelley defending against Moose. These two put on another clinic. Really solid match. Ultimately, Moose gets the win to become the new TNA champion, basically the champion to relaunch the company. And
Moose.
Moose is your new
Moose.
champion. Coming out with D'Angelo Williams, I may add, former Amazing Race contestant.
Love it.
Yep, yep. So
Moose.
what a match, what a victory. And then we got Nick Nemeth debuting, comes out there, gives a Moose a stare down to a super kick, which allows him to hit the zigzag and then goes into the crowd to celebrate. Goldberg, what your
Do you want to
thoughts?
hear my thoughts on this, or do you want to drop your thoughts first?
Okay, I'll drop my thoughts.
Go ahead.
Okay, there's three guys potentially. When Scott D'Amore said that he was going to be bringing in a guy that was one of the biggest signings he's ever had, right?
Right.
Three guys that in my mind that were going to be able to move the needle, or at least not maybe not move the needle, but at least could get the wrestling fans talking. It was either Goldberg, Sasha Banks, or Dolph Ziggler. I mean, what, like, am I wrong on that? Like, I think he delivered bringing Dolph in. I mean, Sasha Banks was in the building. She was watching Trinity wrestle. So technically she was there. But Dolph Ziggler, like, honestly, you're not going to bring in Goldberg. Like, Goldberg demands a ridiculous amount of money
Yeah. No.
for what? 4 matches, 3 matches? Like, you're not
I
doing
don't.
that.
That's not happening.
Yes. So I honestly think, who's the next guy you could get that could get people talking? And it's Nick Nemeth.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a pretty good get for me. Like, Nick Nemeth, like, everyone's, oh, he's going to AEW because his brother's wrestling over there. Like, that's not always true. Maybe his brother told him not to come over there because of how badly things have been looking in AEW. So I
Yeah,
think
his
Nick
brother
Nemeth,
should come to TNA,
yeah, I agree. I agree.
and he
So
might.
he could. Yeah, you never know. He could get released, because the way they use talent over there. But like Nick Nemeth, like he can go New Japan and he can do TNA. Like, that's a pretty good get if you're not in WWE, if you ask me. So I think they did. I think Scott did good here. I think he didn't say this was the biggest TNA signing of all time. He just says it's one of the biggest. And I think in the year of 2024, he's correct with what was out there. So it's my two cents on the whole thing. I didn't mind the debut. You waited till the end. You went after the champ, even though he's not going to go after the champ after we saw an Impact tonight. But Goldberg, let's hear it. Let's hear what you got to say about it.
Okay. First of all, I think I made it clear I love the signing. I love the idea of his big signing being Dolph Ziggler. I think he's a big enough name. I think he's known around the industry, and I think he could be a perfect guy to invigorate his career at TNA and be a heavyweight champ, possibly. Um, but here's the only thing I didn't like. What I didn't like about the debut, and I kind of want your thoughts on this. I don't like Moose winning and being the first the first TNA champ of the next era. I'm fine with that. I love Moose. You know, I'm a big Moose guy. I'm fine with him winning, but I don't like immediately it takes away from his win that somebody debuts and beats him up right away. I don't like that, and I just don't think that was the right way to debut Dolph Ziggler. I think there are other ways to do it.
Yeah.
Um, he could have done it against Macklin, like he's feuding with Macklin now. It didn't have to be at the end of the show. I mean, I get it. He wanted it to be at the end of the show, but it didn't have to. It didn't have to be beating Moose up after Moose just won the title. Like, let Moose have his moment there. Uh, even Ziggler appearing and staring down Moose would be fine, but to beat him up, it was just too much for me, in my opinion.
Okay.
Where
That's fair.
but what do you think? You think you're fine with Moose getting beaten up right after he wins the title?
Well, I mean, if you're really putting logistics into this, he just had like a 20-minute match. So he's probably tired, right? So, like, okay, he gets a super kick, turns around, Ziggler hits his really
But
fast.
that's not my. I'm not saying you're right. It would make sense that he got beat up, but why even put him in that? Why did booking even put him in that position? Like, there's just a better way for me to debut Ziggler, and I think it's coming out, walking out, and staring down Moose. I,
Yeah.
I, I think that's a better way to do it rather than Moose getting beaten up makes sense. Obviously, when you have a long match, but
Yeah.
I just mean it just takes away from the fact that Moose just won. It also takes away from Alex Shelley that he lost. Like he's just forgotten now. It just I don't know. Was Alex Shelley even on the show tonight?
He was. He
Okay.
was. Yep. He was just kind of talking. Obviously, I would imagine he's going to get a rematch clause at some point. But, I think I get your point. I would have been fine with a stare down too, where he just kind of comes out, in the crowd even, and then rips the whole T-shirt and shows the TNA T-shirt. But um, I don't know. Like, yeah, it's kind of the fact that they're just going to drop the whole thing that he kicked Moose because there really was no follow up to that. It's kind of like we just got the whole Macklin thing. I get your point. Was it a perfect way to debut? Probably not. Maybe like a 7 out of 10, but it still got the crowd going, and that's I think what you really wanted. You wanted some buzz from this TNA show. So I don't know. And then can we talk about another debut that happened? Actually, there was two other debuts that we could talk about. The next one though I want to talk about is Ash by Elegance.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see her?
Yeah, I
Like
saw her.
that hard to kill. Okay. Did you see like what a lot of people are saying that she was a ripoff of?
I saw that as well as I
Okay.
see people bashing her, which I don't agree with.
Yeah. How, like, okay, so she's blonde and she's wearing a gown. So you automatically assume that she's going to have a 1930s style, Hollywood actress character. I was like, let's wait to see like what she does. And tonight we saw another promo. To me, it's more of a I'm debuting like a perfume style commercial kind of thing.
Exactly.
That's what I'm seeing this as. I don't think there's going to be any similarities other than the fact that they're both blonde. So I think like people just automatically crap on her for that. Like, come on. Like,
Yeah, no,
that's
I thought
just
her. I'm totally gonna give her a chance, and I think they're doing her debut very well. I like her. Um, I don't. What do you call it? Her the video thing they did for her tonight.
yes, actually Larkin, yeah, her vignette. Larkin wants
Yeah,
to speak. Larkin, you are on speaker and you can speak. Just hit that unmute button. Larkin, here's your shot, buddy. You can have the floor. I know you want to talk about Ash by Elegance. You are on as a speaker, my friend.
I think I don't know if he knows he's muted.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, whenever he's ready to chime in, he could chime in.
Yeah,
But
you can chime in, Larkin. Just feel free to come in when you're ready to talk about her.
I like her. I like her, and I think the vignette was done well.
Yep.
And she's hot.
Yeah, I absolutely. And just the fact that she has a manager means like she's going to be exactly like Tony Stark. I don't know.
And
I don't know.
her name is like outside the box. It's a different. She's got a different thing going.
Correct. It's all it is a perfume. That's how
It's a
perfume
perfume,
is.
yeah.
Yep.
Ash by Elegance.
Yep. Like that's what this is. I'm sorry, Larkin. I didn't know you wanted to speak about this. I don't know if we're taking your thunder away, but you can join us anytime. So that was one of the one of the other debuts. The third debut I want to talk about.
Speaking of Blood Rain doesn't think Nick Nemeth is the last big name being brought in.
Interesting.
Cokehead Tony wants Okada, but Okada's promo lined up nicely with the tweet that he was leaving it. Yeah, I don't think Okada's going to come to TNA, unfortunately. Do you?
I actually don't know. Like, I don't know. Like with a Japanese superstar, I honestly, that could go either way. Like, I mean, WWE, he could go to WWE too. Like, I don't know. Like, it's kind of hard to say right now. Me personally, like if TNA did get Okada, fine. I'm not like
Wouldn't do anything for me. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. He's not like I think he'd be a big signing with the wrestling community, but I don't think he's gonna really move the needle. I think you'd be better.
Not for me, he wouldn't. Couldn't care less. I don't know that I've ever sat down and watched an Okada match. So,
well, he's an extremely talented wrestler. I mean, he reinvented himself in New Japan with the Rainmaker gimmick. It was good. Like, it's good. I'm not gonna lie. He works in that setting. I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to see it to believe it, kind of thing. I think he would come in, have a lot of great matches with a lot of talents, but to move the needle, I don't know. I honestly think we could probably benefit from getting a guy like Elias in there, because I think he's kind of entertaining. I don't think he would cost that much. Can you imagine
I like
him
Elias.
Yeah. Elias is super talented. I even like Rick Boogs. I thought he showed some promise.
Yeah, these are guys. These are all guys who could do something in TNA.
Yep.
I agree.
Yep. They just weren't given the proper push in WWE, and I think they could. Like Elias, like we've seen that guy got himself over. He could play multiple characters too, so he could just reinvent himself. I'm fine with Okada too. If they bring him in, I just don't think he's going to be.
I think Larkin's on.
Oh, okay. Wait, is he on?
I think so.
Here we go. Wait, he's requesting to come in here.
Oh, he just left again. Hell of a run by Larkin.
Here we go. He should be.
No, he's back again.
Let's see here. It says Michael Larkin can now speak.
Yeah. Larkin, say something.
Now it says there was an error adding Larkin as a guest.
Rose, you're really letting us down tonight.
It's not me, buddy. It's not me. I wish I could get him. Wait, let's see here. Let's try this. Is he in?
Oh, now he's muted.
Okay,
so
he's
unmuted. He's unmuted.
All right, Larkin's on.
Hey,
Larkin, what is up? It's been a while.
That it has, man. Yeah, no, I've been listening to you guys. I heard you talk about Ash by Elegance. I got to say, Dana Brooke now in Impact Wrestling with the knockouts. I know a lot of people were going off on about the Tony Storm stuff, but yeah, no. If you've seen her NXT run and all the comedy stuff, like she is an asset. I think she could do very well. I know she puts her heart and soul into it, but yeah, for me, it's like let's just wait to see how it goes. That's all I was going to say. But yeah, and Okada too. Like it's very interesting to see like with Okada, I mean, I think the obvious choice, I mean, Tony Khan kind of hinted like he was going to go to AEW. And when you guys were talking about Nick Nemeth, it's one of those things where it's like, what does that tell you when his brother's over there and he's going to go over there to TNA? You know, revitalize, rejuvenate himself. So, I mean, Macklin's a good start, but I mean, with Ziggler in there, the former Dolph Ziggler, I think he's going to do very well for their division.
Absolutely. Well spoken, Larkin. I knew you'd bring some good points to the table.
No, that's a great point about his brother. I mean, the fact that he came to TNA while his brother's sitting in the catering room at AEW.
I mean, it's funny too because
Absolutely.
like when Nick Nemeth was in WWE as Bradley Pierce in the NXT developmental system, and his brother was over there being the world champion. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I look at what the AEW product's doing, and I don't hate it, but the problem that I have is it's so oversaturated with talent. Like, you know, there's Ring of Honor is on Thursdays. It's on the Ring of Honor Honor Club, but the problem is who the hell watches it? Number one, and number two, that he was so invested on getting a TV deal for that, and he could have, because I know Tony has said something about the CW, but he turned it down, and now look what's going to be on the CW next fall is NXT. So I mean, it's such an oversaturation that everybody kind of goes to the wayside. Everybody gets lost in the shuffle. But if you look at the TNA brand and what the TNA brand wants to represent, like the Cross the Line, the original that we saw back in '08, we're going back to the homegrown talent of like when a Christian Cage came in '05, Jeff Hardy in '04, Kurt Angle in '06. You're looking to rejuvenate and revitalize the product that everybody loves. So, I mean, it's a new beginning, and like the apropos name of the pay per view, Hard to Kill, it's something very special for the OGs like myself, like you, Goldberg, like you, Earl. So, yeah, I'm excited. It's an excited time for a lot of variety of wrestling.
Larkin,
Yeah.
do you think there'll be any changes booking wise for TNA, or do you think it's Impact Wrestling with TNA as
I
the name
think
now?
for, I mean, you look at what the brand is. I mean, I've always called it TNA, whether it be Impact Wrestling or during the Global Force Wrestling days. I think with Scott D'Amore, and you have someone with such a mind that he has. I mean, he was a former enhancement talent in WCW, Team Canada head, if you will, in TNA. I think we're going to see a lot of the retrospect of what we got with TNA, but with a new flavor to it. I think there's always something there that I think a lot of people have the spirit and the heart of what was total nonstop action wrestling. I can say whatever you want to call it. I think just it's going to be its own brand. They're going to focus on their product as they should. You know what I'm saying? If you put your head to the grindstone, and if you just be the best representation of your presentation, I think TNA's got it on lock, and we're going to be in something for something really special in the year 2020.
I like it.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Larkin. I think TNA knows like they're going to be the best what they can be. Like they're not going to focus on anybody else. Like they're going to do the partnerships. That's, you know, fine and dandy, but they're not going to be going out making crazy, you know, tweets on X and tacking, you know, about cage match ratings and all that. And I think Tony Khan is really losing sight of the bigger picture. Well, he doesn't have a bigger picture because if he did, he'd be able to book a storyline that would go into, you know, 4 months or so instead of just trying to throw stuff to the wall and see what sticks. So I agree with you, Larkin. I think this new TNA, they got the guys they want. And they're going to keep going and trying to deliver the best product they
Agreed. And to
possibly
go
can.
on to the point that you were saying there, Hurls, the problem is the people respect Scott D'Amore for what he's done. I mean, people say what they will about Triple H, they respect Triple H. But with Tony Khan, it's just like, all right, we
Mm-hmm.
have this message board, Mark. We have this guy who quotes cage match. We have a guy who booked an EFED from his teenage years and then resurfaced back to that during his late 20 years. And you have someone whose mindset is, I love wrestling, you should love wrestling too, and who cannot take criticism. And the part of that is that really hurts him is for someone who does run an analytics company, and your analytics, you want to base it off the impressions of what you get for arguing like a teenage girl on a social media platform like a Twitter. It's insane, and it's very unbecoming, and it's very unprofessional, and he's become what he hates. He's Vince McMahon. He's the person that's detracting his audience from how he behaves and stuff, like how people would thought of Vince McMahon and how he behaved. Say what you will about Vince McMahon, but there was structure there. In this company, it's the wild, wild west. It's just not structured, and you have a guy at the forefront that wants it all to be all about him, because a mere 5 years later, it's, oh my God, I own a wrestling company. Yeah, you do. So start acting like an owner. Again, we mentioned that representation of your presentation point. Tony Khan is not being the best representation of his presentation.
Absolutely. Goldberg, you got any further comments on that?
No, I just one more question for Larkin. Larkin, if you were booking right now, um, in TNA or even AEW, I mean, who would be the guys that you would want to put over and kind of take the next uh leap? Um, because for me, it's Hammerstone. I love this guy. I don't know your thoughts
Oh,
about him.
Alexander
Like,
Hammerstone was a great
what
talent in MLW. His
yeah,
size, his stature, he's athletic for his size. He's a great big man. I think he would do very well going for the World Heavyweight Championship. You have Moose in there. You have so many guys in there. I mean, I'm so happy to see Moose get his shine because he rightfully deserves it for the many numerous years he's put into TNA. I mean, for AEW, I mean, they're doing the
yep.
stuff with Swerve, and I like Swerve Strickland. I've watched him since the Lucha Underground days as Kill Shot, and his tenure in WWE as Swerve Scott. It's so hard for me, man, because there's a lot of people out there. I mean, if they can stay not injury prone and they can actually stay on the forefront, I think it's great. I think what we have right now with Moose as the forefront and the Nick Nemeth coming in, I like Alex Shelley, I like Chris Sabin. I'm very high on Steve Macklin. I know you guys mentioned Steve Macklin earlier. Here's a guy who was in a tag team in the WWE for the Forgotten Sons. Look at the operative word forgotten because they did nothing with them there. And I mean, they were a formidable tag team along with Wesley Blake and the former Jackson Riker Gunner. It's interesting, man. But if I had to pick somebody, I would like to see Steve Macklin just stay in that mix because he's worked his butt off from the tenure that he had in WWE to where he is now in TNA. I like guys like that. I'm a Long Island guy. I've always been an MJF fan, but I mean, it's very hard right now. For me, I'm just one of the guys. Let's see how it goes. But I can tell you one thing: it would not be Daniel Garcia with his Das Wonder Kid Alex Wright like dance that he has, and Wheeler Yuta. And it's nothing against those guys, but Tony Khan has positioned them as the main event guys like these guys. And it's like, wait a minute here, man, slow your roll, stop the presses here. Let's actually give us a reason not to like them, not just they put on banger matches or we're gonna put him with the Blackpool Combat Club. That's it.
Exactly.
Yep. I 100% agree. Couldn't have said it any better,
Thank you.
Larkin. Um, so Hard to Kill was a really good pay-per-view. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought tonight's Impact was good. We had Kazarian turning heel, which I was not expecting. I was expecting Eric Young to turn heel, especially because Kazarian kind of hit him to kind of lose the match. But good stuff from TNA. I'm excited to see where this goes. Goldberg, they're going to Florida next tapings. Is that a little too far from you? I think
It
it's
is. Orlando's
okay.
a little bit of a trip for me. Yeah, I don't know. When are they there? Next weekend?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
Let me see when they're there.
23rd, 24th.
Oof.
Some reason.
I just Googled TNA Orlando and TNA Orlando Jordan came up.
Oh boy.
What a run.
Yeah.
January 19th and 20th. Oh, it's tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, no, I definitely can't.
Okay.
Can't swing that.
Okay. Well, they do come down by you a lot though, too. So.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see if they come back.
Yep.
I like how Tommy Dreamer is on the forefront of this poster, still with the title in his hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
I know
think
you mentioned that in the chat.
they could
Yeah.
fix that?
Yeah, they should put Crazy Steve up there.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little. Let's talk a little Royal Rumble, because I think we should. I know you want to talk about some of the stuff that's happening there. Royal Rumble.
You really think I'm a WWE fan?
No, no, no. I want to talk about it too. I want to talk about it. So you don't understand. I want to talk about it too. Because I'm going to be watching the Rumble. I always watch Rumble. I always watch
I
when
think
things.
that's in Florida too, isn't it?
Tampa? Is it
Yes.
Tampa?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I do. I want to talk about this 4-way match because I think it's very intriguing. I'm
Hey,
really looking forward
Larkin,
to it.
you ever been to a WrestleCon?
I have not, but it's definitely something on my bucket list. I think for me, I've been to like
Yeah.
3 out of the big 4 pay-per-views. I have never been to a Royal Rumble, but a WrestleCon is definitely on my bucket list.
Oof, lot of fun.
I'll have to check that out. But yeah, I can say with as far as TNA goes, some of my favorite shows were back in the Westbury Music Fair days on Long Island when they did like when Hogan was there in 2010 and all that stuff. So yeah, I remember going to those back in the day too.
I just hope Lockdown comes back. I tweeted to Scott Demore. I'm just Can you please bring back Lockdown? Because that's a staple. Like that should be like TNA's Royal Rumble.
But also, I also think the King of the Mountain match should be brought back. I think that
Well,
was like,
yes, I agree. Well, that there, no question. That was always a Slammiversary staple.
yeah.
Yep. So, okay, let's talk about this because I wanted to bring this to the table before we go. Hulk Hogan's record. A lot of people think Roman Reigns is going to break it. Now, whether you agree that it's for reasons that they just don't want him to be the longest running champion, whatever. Do we think Roman Reigns retains the title against AJ Styles, LA Knight, and who's
Randy
the fourth
Orton.
guy in there? Yes, thank you, Randy Orton. Do we think Roman Reigns comes out of here victorious? I'm guessing he probably does because it's going to set up a feud with The Rock. So, guys, am I wrong here in thinking that those three others probably? I mean, I don't think Orton has
No,
a shot.
I don't. I think he's just in there to just just because it's revenge. But I don't see him winning the championship. I don't think Orton is a definite.
Correct, and I don't know if LA Knight is
No, I
ready
agree.
for
I think there's
WrestleMania.
only one guy, AJ Styles, who has a chance to win that match other than Roman Reigns,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't give him a very good shot.
Well, I think for me to go on to Hurl's point is, I mean, you have 73,000 people in Perth, Australia. I would do Roman and Rock there, and go to Roman and
Yeah.
Cody for Mania. If I was, and I know I'm jumping ahead here, but you got Cody in the Rumble. I would have him do it because they've been teasing on Raw the back to back, like when Stone Cold won it in '97 and '98. So I mean, there's that tease there. There's tease of CM Punk because it would be 10 years to the day when he was in his last Royal Rumble before he quit. So I mean, there's a lot of possibilities of where they could go, but for me, I definitely think Roman's going to retain here. I don't see him losing the four-way.
And how much longer is Roman away from Hulk
Probably
Hogan's
towards we
record?
go to, like the summertime when friggin' Roman won it a mere 4 years ago now. So once going towards the summer, we're getting there.
That's
Okay.
unbelievable. That's unreal.
Here's my next question where I want to go with this, and if you don't feel comfortable answering, don't answer it, but it's not going to be too bad. Do you think Roman Reigns should break Hulk Hogan's record?
Ooh.
Goldberg, I already know your answer. So Larkin, I guess you could
All
start
right,
this
now
one.
you're going to make me think. All right, now with Hulk Hogan, I mean, I don't condone what he said, but I will say this: you can't erase Hulk Hogan from history. He's the reason why a lot of us got into professional wrestling. The Rock and the Rock and Wrestling connection and the cartoons and everything that was and epitomized the 1980s, the 1990s with the NWO. He's synonymous with professional wrestling. That man symbolizes what professional wrestling was, the larger than life characters and everything that is the legacy of professional wrestling as a whole. Do I think he should break it with what they're doing now with the story? That's the storytelling part of it. I don't think he should. I think if it was any time for Cody to win it, it would be now, and then Roman can take his break and do what he needs to do because that man has been holding it down for numerous years now within the company. The man deserves a rightful break. I know he comes in, but he's an attraction. But yeah, I can't. I don't see Hulk Hogan. I don't see him beating Hulk Hogan's record. I think Roman will lose it at Mania.
That's a good answer. I hope we see that. Goldberg, you want to add to anything about that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Hulk Hogan mark. I can separate what he said and what he's done in the business because, to me, I don't know that I'd be watching wrestling if it weren't for Hulk Hogan. But I don't care if Roman Reigns breaks his record or not. It doesn't make a difference to me because I don't view Roman Reigns on the same level as Hulk Hogan, and I never will. I don't care if Reigns has the belt for 10 years. So yeah, I don't care whether he breaks the record or not, but I want to see I want to see LA Knight or someone like that, Braun Breaker, someone like that come in and be put over eventually, but that's not going to happen. It's probably going to be Cody Rhodes when it's all said and done. So I agree with Larkin. I think Cody Rhodes wins this Royal
To go
Rumble.
on with Goldberg's part there, I mean, when you're looking at LA Knight, Logan Paul has teased it very subtly in like his podcast stuff and clips. Like LA Knight will come up. So if I was to do something with LA Knight. I mean, they teased it in the Money in the Bank when he made fun of Logan Paul, pretty much saying, he's the teenager's dream, and the TikTok, the social media guy. You know what I'm saying? Making fun of Logan Paul. So if I was to do anything, just because the back and forth on the microphone would be good, and I think the match would be good, I'd like to see an LA Knight Logan Paul match at WrestleMania and have him beat him for the U.S. title.
I think that's probably a possibility there, Larkin. I think
that sounds like a really good possibility.
But here's the thing with LA Knight, though. Like, he's already at the age of, I don't know if he's 40, 41. I mean, he's still got a long way to go. Like,
I mean,
AJ
DDP
Styles.
did it.
Absolutely. I agree. Well, he did in WCW. But, do you think there's time to put LA Knight in the US IC, division? I think you could, but like I hope it's going to lead somewhere. Like I really do feel like this guy should be world champion
Oh yeah,
sooner
I
than
mean,
later.
if you look at the story with Logan Paul, it's very simple. I can see him beating Kevin Owens, and if there's anything, he talks the talk, But I'm just saying, he's very much Logan Paul. When you look at these subtleties, intricacies, and nuances, and the cadence in its voice, he's very much like, I'm gonna talk shit, but then when somebody gets up to me, oh, wait a minute now, maybe I shouldn't have said that. It's very much a chicken shit heel, but he can back it up with his size and athleticism. There's a smidgen of Andy Kaufman there of just like, I'm gonna make money because I'm better than you. I have all this money, yada yada yada. So he's very much a student of following what you can see from the promo game and the wrestling game, and he's taken it all like a sponge, and that's what I can respect. You talk about what he did from the social media stuff and stuff that he did at his outside auspices, but I think for what he's doing, I think he can make anything work. And I mean, he's only been in the thing for about a year and a half, 2 years now, which is nuts to think about, and he's got it so quickly. So I think anything that dude can do now can make it work, and especially when you're in there with a vet like LA Knight, and like Goldberg said, DDP did it. With going against Macho Man and being in there with the greats that he was in. I mean, so why not? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Uh Royal Rumble, we both saying Cody Rhodes is winning?
Yeah. I mean, I don't. I think it would be
Okay.
too early for CM Punk. If you want to have CM Punk win something, I would have him win the Chamber to become the #1 contender, and they could do him and Seth. If Seth is not really hurt badly, as they said, he did get injured in his match with Jinder, so we'd have to see the prognosis on that. And I mean, you got Big Bronson Reed, who did tease he was going after a champion, and he is from Australia, so there might have been possibilities of a Seth Rollins Bronson Reed match for the title. So I don't know. It depends on how Seth Rollins is from his injury.
I
Me
really
too.
like Bronson Reed. That guy's hell of a talent. Yeah. All right. So I think Cody Rhodes is a highly likely to win this back to back, and clearly he's got to win this year. You can't have a win twice and lose. So I'm going to go with you guys on that. I think that makes the most sense. And you think Rock versus Roman is Australia now? What is that show going to be called? Is that
Elimination
Elimination
Chamber.
Chamber or what? Okay, so it's Elimination Chamber. Okay. Do you think though that they should have Rock at Mania, or do you think it's fine just to have him at Elimination
Fine
Chamber
as
and
is. I
then
mean, I don't see
go
it as
back?
like a downgrade doing Australia because they've been pushing this year. We're going to go to Australia. We're going to go to France. We're going to go to Germany. So, I mean, they're opening up more of the international markets. And I mean, if you're in a 73,000 seat building like they're going to be in, I mean, why not give you, The Rock and give you such a big attraction? I mean, if there's any attraction match, just The Rock and Roman. I mean, WrestleMania, what have you. I mean, they had Roman Reigns and John Cena's first ever pay per view match on a No Mercy, for God's sakes. I mean, why not?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Goldberg, you got any other comments with that?
No, I mean, I want to see if The Rock fights Roman Reigns. Are we expecting The Rock to just? Is it an automatic L for The Rock?
Yeah, I don't think he wins that.
No, I don't see it either. I mean, the other alternative, if they don't do Roman and Rock, I mean, Rock and Solo Sikoa, but I think that would be too soon. But they have been billing Solo as a killer, so I mean, there's many different ways that they can do it. But I like the scenario of Roman and Rock just because of that nice tease of I could sit at the head of the table. So I mean, there's so many ways that they could do it that's very bloodline oriented. I mean, there's also a case that you can make like Roman and Rock doesn't have to be for the title; it could just be for the title of head of the table. So I mean, yeah, I mean, there's very many different ways of how you can really word that, work that. So I'm kind of curious to see where they go with it.
Yeah, same here. I just want to see. I want to see Roman lose it. He just had it way too long for me. And I'd be fine with Cody winning at this point. I think he kind of deserves it. The other thing, Goldberg, I wanted to mention because you brought up Braun Breaker. Have you seen what Braun's been doing lately?
What isn't he in a tag team now?
Yeah, he's with Baron Corbin. Um,
Mm,
they're You know what I do like about Braun is that he's wearing like the Rick Steiner
yeah,
jacket that he
yeah.
kind of always wore. But I really wish like I like the name Braun Breaker. That is one of the WWE names, you know, that they give people that I usually hate. I actually don't mind that name. But I still think like I wish he was still called the Steiner. Like I just don't know, you know, even what they're doing with Brian Pillman Jr., I just don't know why they want to get away from that. And I understand they want to keep, you know, they want to have these names on copyright, but I don't know. I just think they're missing something by not, you know, having these
Well,
guys
the
come out.
Lexus King name is the King is based off his stepfather, and the Lexus is his sister. So I mean, it's a nice little tribute to the stepfather and the sister. So I mean, I,
Well, true, right. I mean, that's what a lot of those names do come from. They do come from, you know,
yeah.
personal things, you know, that these wrestlers, you know, that they know. But I don't know. I'm not used. I don't know. That's just a WWE thing. I know they've done it for a while, but I would like to have
I'm fine with Pillman not having the Pillman name, but I think Steiner should.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they're why not, right? All right, Goldberg. Should we hit him with the Hurl's Hot Corner?
Do you have one?
You know, I had a good one, but and I mentioned it to the chat. I don't know how well it's going to do here because it's kind of like guys we didn't really watch.
Wait, Will. Quick question for you, if either one of you know this. Will LA Knight, AJ Styles, and Randy Orton be in the Royal Rumble since they're fighting for a title?
I mean, they've done it before. Why
Probably
not?
not.
But I mean, I don't know. We don't know yet. We'll see, though.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
three
I don't.
big names.
I think they would. I mean, they've done it
Correct.
before, so I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if they were.
Because outside of Cody, if those three are not in it,
I mean, you got Punk is in it. Like that's the big one they've been teasing.
I don't think. But I'm with you. I don't think Punk win.
I
I
don't
don't
see
think
him
Punk
winning it
wins.
either because
Right,
I think it
right.
would be too soon, and I think
Yeah.
you'd have to build him more. Like personally, with what I saw with Punk and McIntyre, I think Punk and McIntyre would be interesting. But I don't know.
I think I agree with that. I also think Gunther's going to have another deep run
Oh,
in the
well,
match after what he did
he
last
has
year.
gotten himself into such great shape. It's insane. Like
Yeah.
that dude is excellent. I can't say nothing good things about him.
I think he has another deep. I think he'll be one of the first couple guys in again and go like the whole way. Probably not win. Um, and I guess who else? Like we get what do you have? Like Bobby
Bobby
Lashley maybe?
Lashley's
Like
going to be
who
in there. I
else?
know they announced Nakamura. They've announced some of the like people that they've been really been pushing on TV.
Yeah, I think Cody's got to be. Let's you know what? Real quick, I'm gonna check the odds. Cody's got to be the odds-on favorite, right?
Yeah, just because again they're teasing the story and the back to back. So he's got to be the favorite.
Let's
Punk's
see,
got to be in there too, even
2024
though, like I said, I don't see him winning. But yeah, it's got to be a tie between like, Punk and
World.
Cody.
Here we go. CM Punk is the
Okay.
betting favorite. Number two is The Rock, and number three is Cody
Okay.
Rhodes. Number
All
four
right.
is Gunther, and number five is LA Knight.
Ooh.
Six, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, John Cena, and Pat McAfee is on the betting. But he's not the. There's only 10 available betting. There's only 10 guys you can bet on right now. So, but because could Brock Lesnar could be
Oh,
in
then
this
people have
match.
been saying, "What if Brock Lesnar comes in and just wins the Royal Rumble again?"
Yeah, here it is. You got CM Punk, the odds-on favorite. Gunther. Yeah, this website's different. You got Gunther second, Cody Rhodes third, LA Knight, Randy Orton, The Rock, and Drew McIntyre. So that's including two guys who are in that title match.
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
So I don't know. I don't want to see
No.
Punk win, but I wouldn't mind seeing Cody win. I don't know. Wouldn't mind seeing The Rock win one last time.
I wouldn't either, because you could still do that storyline at WrestleMania.
And
And again,
just for betting's sake, Roman Reigns is a monstrous favorite to win that 4-way match.
yeah,
If we were to bet on it,
I don't.
huge
Yeah,
favorite.
I don't think he loses it. I don't know. To me, The Rock versus Roman's more exciting to me, but that's also some nostalgia talking. So, anyways, let's get the Hurl's Hot Corner here. And I got one question. I don't think it's going to go over well, so I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna go 2024. Make one bold prediction for 2024. Goldberg. Okay, Larkin.
Ah,
No,
man,
Goldberg.
bold prediction for
Okay.
2024.
Yeah, one bold prediction if you got one.
Well, I think we already said Cody Rhodes is going to finish the story. I think we can go with that. Uh, I can see somebody going over from AEW to WWE. And if I was to guess, because we see a lot of him in the training videos with Jade Cargill and all that, I could see if Ricky Starks possibly going to WWE. I could see that because he's a Cody guy too. Like I said, it all depends. But right now, I would just say Cody finishing the story, and I can see just more going towards the later year, more people coming over, like a Ricky Starks from AEW to WWE, and we'll probably see some switches. But my biggest thing, I just got to go Cody finishing the story. I think it's too early to tell, but we shall see.
That's a good one. Goldberg.
I think you should go first, Rose.
Okay, that was a good play. All right, I'm gonna make a bold prediction / bold want. I would hope Hammerstone signs with TNA, so I'm gonna say he signs with TNA. Larkin, and I also agree with you. I think there's gonna be a lot of AEW defections in 2024 because I feel like this is the year where a lot of contracts are gonna come up for AEW from kind of like their initial run. I also feel like we may not have Ring of Honor much longer, or at least Ring of Honor is going to be. If Ring of Honor does not get a TV deal or whatnot, I think I could see them just kind of scrapping it, or at least changing it dramatically, because I think it
Here's
does
my
need to be
thing I'll
changed.
add to you. It's like when WWE had WWE CW, Ring of Honor's AEW. It's not the Ring of Honor of like 05, 06 we had things, or even during the mid 2010s. It's not that Ring of Honor. It's AEW.
Absolutely. And to end it, Goldberg, do you got a final one?
Yeah, I think Billy and Chuck are going to get divorced this year.
Oh,
um, I think Goldberg is going to have one more match at some point. I could be wrong on that, but I think he's going to have one more match, and I think Sean Spears will end up in TNA at some point this year. But yeah, I'm with you. I want to see Hammerstone signed to TNA. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough question. I think AEW will be out of business. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's not going to happen.
no.
But yeah, I want to see Hammerstone in TNA. That's my main, and I wouldn't mind Richard Holiday coming with him.
That would be good. Wait, I got a better one here, guys. I got a better one. Dark Side of the Ring. You guys both watched it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Season 5 was confirmed. What is one story? You can only pick one that you want told on Dark Side of the Ring. Because I think this is a little more intriguing than my last question.
That is a good question. Oh man, that's a good question.
And they've gone through a long list of them already. So
wait,
I'll start it off.
Did they have Eddie Guerrero?
They have not. They have not done Eddie Guerrero. He was featured a lot in the Chris Benoit episode, obviously, but they have not officially done Eddie Guerrero.
Well, I think they should have Eddie. Have they? I don't think they did a Lex Luger one, right?
No.
That's my guy. I would love to see a Lex Luger one.
I
Eddie.
doubt he. I think Lex Luger goes in the Hall of Fame this year, though. I do think that's.
I've been thinking that for so many years, and it has not happened.
I think they're going to do it this year because they did a special on him. So I think they're kind of opening up to putting him in. That's another bold prediction, I guess I could say. Lex Luger's getting in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, you can also add Ken Shamrock to that because I got Ken Shamrock on a Legends deal over there, which is.
Yeah, Ken Shamrock's another one that they just. I believe he's going to be in the new WWE video game.
I mean, the Sandman signed a Legends contract with the WWE. Like, wow.
That is interesting. Oh, another bold prediction, and this is in the video game world. I think Ultra Pro Wrestling is going to be one of the best wrestling video games to come out in the last probably 15 years. So if you're not following Ultra Pro Wrestling, follow them on X. Good stuff. Redoing the whole No Mercy revenge engine. Looks very similar. I'm super pumped for that game. But my dark side of the ring, there's a lot of stories to be told, obviously, throughout the wrestling business. But I would love to see China, an episode on China, because I think you have to, right? I know they did like a documentary about her, but it wasn't through Dark Side of the Ring. So I think they got to do a China episode. Another one that I would love to see would be, you mentioned Eddie Guerrero. I think that would be a really solid one. But realistically, if we're looking at some of the other ones they could do, Louis Spicolli, that's an interesting story they could do too. So, there's a lot, and I don't know how much they'd want to do, with some of the people that are signed and whatnot, and all that. But China, I think China is one they got.
I'll go Rise and Fall of the AWA.
That's a good one. That is a good one. There's a lot you could do there too. I mean, I know WWE did a documentary on it, but I'd like to see Dark Side of the Ring do one on that. That I think that would be, you could do what was that one on MTV? Was it XPW?
Oh yes, WSX XP.
Oh yeah, WSX. I think you could do one on that.
That was I actually like that.
I used to watch it every Friday night. Like I remember when that was on with X-Pac and Vampiro, and
I remember the debut show. I tuned in, and they had a battle royal for the championship, right? And I think Vampiro beat X-Pac at the end.
Yeah, and
right?
then Judas Messiah came out, Ricky Banderas, and threw the fireball at him. Yep.
That was good. Oh, Wrestling Society X. That's what it was.
I'd love to see that. Lance Cade's another one you could do too. That guy had
he was demons. Very young when he died. He was like 29.
Yep, very young. I think you could do one on him. So a lot of good stuff. I'm feeling hopeful for 2024, at least wrestling wise. It is an election year, so let's try to keep it peaceful, everyone. Not get too crazy. But good stuff tonight, guys. I'm glad to be back on a wrestling podcast. I think it's been over a year. I've been doing a lot of the Amazing Race stuff with you, Goldberg, but I haven't really done any wrestling. So this was good to get this back going. A lot of fun. Larkin, thanks for tuning in and joining.
Happy to be back and just talking with you, man. Absolutely.
At the and this wasn't really like a plan or anything. It was just kind of a spur of the moment type thing. So cool that you could
happy to do it, guys. Thank you.
And we'll see you at a WrestleCon.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
We got to plan that. Everybody's got to meet up at a WrestleCon. That would be the move.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be a lot of fun. All right. Thanks for joining this live edition of the Heelcast. We will see you next time. Have a good night, everyone.